Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. So glad you're here. What do we got going on? Well, we got a market that's kind of stuck, right? I mean, it's kind of going sideways. You had those highs in October, right? And we've gone sideways. I think the S&P actually got maybe 1% above that high, but it's just pretty much the same place it was back in October. Same with the NASDAQ, pretty much the same place. I think they're going to drop. I think they're going to drop hard. That's just my take. Maybe we still get that 50,000 print on the Dow, but I don't think so. We pretty much just moving sideways. Now, sideways is good compared to what Bitcoin's doing, right? I mean, since October, Bitcoin just kind of been in free fall, down about 30%. People say I don't like Bitcoin. It's my number one thing to trade. I love to trade it. It's very volatile, but it also tells me where the risk is. The risk is going off, right? And this is what's going to bring the stock market down. The stock market is going to follow Bitcoin lower. This is just my take. Now, if you want the place that I think you should be, well, that's the metals, right? That's where the action is. That's where the upward action is. Bitcoin, they got the downward action going on, but and you can play the market both up or down. So you could play Bitcoin if you're playing it to go down, or you can play the gold and silver markets if you're playing it to go up. But Mike, silver crashed, gold crashed. You know what's so funny? That was the headline, right? I mean, last Friday when they had that 30% down day, big headlines, silver crash. It was like it was the end of the world, right? What they didn't tell you is that silver's been up 10 straight months in a row, up. Did it close January up? Yes, it closed January up. Silver, that's a crash. I'll take that crash every time. Now, I know those Bitcoiners, they get a little sad when it was 126 and then it's down here at 75. Us silver people, when we see it's at 120 and it drops to 70, my eyes light up. I'm like, yeah, give me some more, because I know I got the real thing, right? I got the real McCoy. I don't have that fake stuff. I want more at these prices. Look, if you can get silver under $100, my advice, I mean, I'm doing it. I'm a buyer here, right? Anything under 100 is cheap. You're going to see much higher price. Now, it may take a couple months for us to get back to new record highs, right? I mean, we were 120 and we dropped like $50, right? 120 down to 70, that's $50. But my eyes light up because that's a discount, and they're going to close that discount window on you. You got to get out there and get some of this stuff if you want to do it, right? Or you could just stay in the crypto and watch them go lower and lower. That's fine too. But the idea that silver crashed, that gold crashed, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Look at here, let me tell you about gold a little bit. Here's some history. A lot of people don't understand history, but let me start to explain some of it. Okay, in the 70s, gold went from $35, hit up to $834, right? And that was in the decade of the 70s. Now, this is very fascinating to me because if you take that $834 that it hit the record back in 1980, that was the record at that time, and you multiply that forward using the cost of inflation based on the way they measured it in the 1980s, you'd have to go to shadow stats to actually see that. I mean, even today, we're running about 8% still. If you measure inflation where you leave everything in, right? They take out housing, they take out oil, they take out anything that me and you buy, and they tell you that inflation is down here below 3%. Well, I'm telling you, it's a flat out lie. But anyways, if you take that $834 number where gold hit back in 1980, and you inflation adjust that forward to today using shadow stats, which is the real inflation rates, use their real inflation rates, you're going to hit about $35,000 gold. $35,000 gold. If you can get gold below $5,000, you might want to pounce on that, right? I mean, I think you're going to see a 10x from here. That's just my take. Maybe we only get to 35,000, but that's talking crazy stuff. Let's just talk about getting to 10,000. Now, are we going to get to 10,000 this year? Probably not. It's possible. Very possible. 6,000's on the table for sure, right? I mean, that may happen next month. We just don't know. You see, the first time where gold went from $35 to $1,000, right? It started at 35, ended up at 1,000. It took 36 years to do that. 36 years, right? When the gold was at 35 and to get to 1,000 took 36 years. How long did it take to go from 1,000 to 2,000? Well, from 1,000 to 2,000, it took gold 12 years. 12 years. Okay, so 36 years the first 1,000, 12 years the second 1,000. Now let's go to the third 1,000, right? Well, how long did it take gold to go from 2,000 to 3,000? Well, it only took 4 years, right? So 36 years, 12 years, 4 years. Okay, so how long did it take gold to go from 3,000 to 4,000? Let me think. 8 months. 8 months. Well, okay, 36 years, 12 years, 4 years, 8 months. All right, how long did it take gold to go from 4,000 to 5,000? Well, it took it about 3 months. 36 years, 12 years, 4 years, 8 months, 3 months. Do you see the pace that's accelerating? Now, what's happened here? Gold hasn't changed. An ounce of gold is still an ounce of gold, right? What has changed? The dollar. The dollar is crapping out at a faster and faster rate. Now, I keep saying the dollar is going to go to zero, but it's going to take time for that all to play out, right? I mean, it's going to take time. And there's going to be pullbacks. Some people got real upset about this pullback. I say my eyes got real bright. I go, oh, this is so good. I got to call my coin dealer. Oh, he was sold out of it. Sold out of silver. Sold out of gold. People called before I got there. Oh, it's just terrible, right? Oh, so I went to that coin show, picked a little up there, right? Okay, so that's the way you get it. You got to find it. You got to get out there and find the physical. Yeah, you can buy the SLV. Yeah, you can buy the GLD, but it's not the real stuff. Look at SLV can go to zero. GLD can go to zero. And you could have gold at 50,000, silver in 4-digit numbers with those going to zero because they're not real. They're paper, right? They're paper. A lot of people don't understand that. They don't have the gold. They don't have the silver. It's just paper contracts. And that's how they slammed the market down on that Friday, right? The banks, they coordinated together and they beat the crap out of the silver market, right? They had to get it to come down so JP Morgan could get out of their short position without too big a massive loss. They had a massive loss, but they were able to liquidate their short position. Now, you're going to get pullbacks. Now, in the 70s, right? In the 70s, gold went from $35 to $834. That was in the 70s. Now, was there any pullbacks? Yes, there was. Yes, there was. You see, it went from $35. In 1974, gold was $195. $195 in 1974. You know, by the time 1976 came around, 2 years later, gold had dropped from $195 down to $103, almost half off. Now, could we get a half off sale today? I don't think so, because gold is now a tier 1 asset being bought by all the countries around the world. All the sovereign banks, all the central bankers want to own gold. They don't want to own the dollar. So I don't think you're going to see a 50% pullback, but maybe we drop all the way back to 3,000. You listen to Harry Dent, he says 1,000, right? Lance Roberts, he says $30 on silver. I think they're all crazy, right? Maybe Tall Mike's crazy. I really don't know, but I don't see it that way. I see it very strong, but you could have a 30% pullback like we just did in silver, 20% pullback in gold. I mentioned that to you. I'm not saying to go all in. Have a little dry powder so when you get these these sales, you get the chance to go in and buy this stuff. Right now, they talk about this, right? They talk about Kevin Wersch. He was responsible for this drop in silver from 120 down to 70. No, he wasn't. It had nothing to do with it. They want to shift the narrative so nobody goes to jail for manipulating the silver and gold market. They don't want to go to jail. They just wanted to get out of their short position. So they blame Kevin. Kevin must have done it. They announced Kevin Wersch. He's going to be the new Fed chair, right? Now, you see, I wouldn't want to be Kevin. I really would not. Look, he's got a problem, right? He's in a no-win situation. He's either going to print money and we're going to hyperinflate, or he's not going to print money and we go into the Great Depression. Those are his two options. Both of them lose for him. Either way, he's in a situation where he cannot be successful. What's going to win? Gold's going to win. You want to get some gold. You want to get some silver on this beatdown. Okay, that's just my take. Of course, you got to do you. I got to do me. But let's talk about Bitcoin for a little bit. I know people get so upset when I talk about this Bitcoin stuff. Now, I feel sorry for poor Michael Saylor. Saylor. I mean, Michael Saylor, right? He's been buying the Bitcoin for 5 years. He's borrowed all this money, $55 billion of it, and now he's underwater, right? I mean, well, his cost was 77, came down to 75. I don't know where it's trading today, but okay, so he's underwater, right? He's underwater after buying $55 billion of Bitcoin. So he's in big trouble, right? He's going to lose all the money for all the people in his stock, right? His stock is $500. I don't know, down around 140, 130, it keeps falling. It's hard to keep track of it, right? But what he did, though, he went out and convinced hundreds and hundreds of companies to do what he's doing, to become Bitcoin treasuries. Well, you know what happened? Those Bitcoin treasury companies, they are under severe financial pressure now. And I feel sorry for them. I mean, but they were stupid enough to listen to Michael Saylor. And if you're stupid enough to be in a stock, you deserve the loss. He lost everybody's money in the dot-com boom. You can look it up. It went, lost 100% of everybody's money. He's going to lose 100% of everybody's money again. Now, I give him some credit, though, right? The dude has some guts. Would I buy $55 billion of Bitcoin? Heck, no way. But he's not doing it with his money. He's doing it with your money, doing it with his shareholders' money, right? But his shareholders, once the net asset value goes below the cost, he owns $55 billion of Bitcoin, but what they say his company might only be worth $48 billion, so it's below the net asset value, then there's a problem, right? Because then you're just circling the drain. And do you realize 40% of Bitcoin treasuries, take the top 100 Bitcoin treasuries out there, 40% of them are selling below net asset value. You see, these don't have any real business, right, behind them. So there's no real operating cash flow, if you will. Michael Saylor's business has lost money forever and ever and ever. Software company loses money. But he's going to make it back on Bitcoin. Bought 55 billion of it, and now he's underwater. Where is he going to start to liquidate? I'd say probably down somewhere around 60,000. Now, maybe we get a bounce back up here and give him a little bit of a lifeline, but once it gets below 60, and it will, he will start to liquidate, right? He'll be a forced liquidation. But these poor Bitcoin treasury companies that listen to Michael Saylor, they're in a world of hurt right now. I mean, they're going to lose their businesses because they listen to this guy, right? This guy put them into the Bitcoin. Now, they could have bought anything, right? They could have bought the S&P. They could have bought the Dow Jones. They could have put their money into bonds. They could have bought anything, gold and silver. They'd be filthy rich, right? But they bought Bitcoin, and now they're losing their butt, and they might deserve to go out of business. Stupid people deserve to go out of business. I'm being harsh. I know that. People get so upset, but I don't see why they worship this guy. They worship Michael Saylor like he's the Bitcoin god or something. He's a genius. No, he's a fool. And I'll tell you why. Because he's so eccentric on Bitcoin, right? I mean, if he had spread that out, well, if he did like a third of Bitcoin, a third gold, a third silver, he'd be a very wealthy man right now. But now, I don't think he's sleeping that well at night. Maybe he is. I don't really know. But there's a world of hurt because these Bitcoin treasury companies, they have no real business, no real cash flow. And as Bitcoin continues to drop on them, they just get in a world of hurt. It's severe financial pressure. I bet every one of them wishes they never, ever met Michael Saylor. And I can't blame him, right? Because he's going to force them out of business by using his plan. But he has to go out there and sell it because he's the Bitcoin prophet. If he doesn't buy Bitcoin, if he doesn't get other businesses to buy it, who's going to buy it? Are you going to buy it? I'm not going to buy it. I'm shorting it, right? I'm making some big money. I love Bitcoin. Don't make it go to zero. I want to keep trading it. I love to trade that stuff. It's so much fun. Anyways, I know a lot of people are going to give me the hate stuff every time I talk about the Bitcoin. They got their little cult together and they get after me on that, right? They say, you're just a boomer with the microphone. They are correct. That's all I am. Keep buying the real stuff. Get the physical wealth. Get the gold. Get the silver. You can get silver under 100. You can get gold under 5,000. You're going to do pretty well. Look, we're going to hit new highs in a few months here. I think silver will probably, I don't know, let's call it 150, 170 for this year. This year it'll hit those numbers, right? Which, I mean, if you can get it below 100, those are some good returns for just in a year. And that's just my prediction. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Lance Roberts is right? maybe it goes back to $30 and maybe that's what happens. I really don't have the future, right? I'm not a prophet like Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor, he's a prophet, right? He says that Bitcoin is guaranteed to go up 30% a year into perpetuity. I don't buy it. I don't think you should buy it. But if you like this stuff, what you should do, give me the thumbs up and punch the subscribe button and get out there, buddy. Have a great day. It's Super Bowl weekend, right? Enjoy the Super Bowl parties. We'll talk again on Monday. Bye-bye now.